A gal a chat bout you, not chat factually. Cause you got the flavor, full of vibes like you from Jamaica. You get a ring, you hear wedding bells. When gal hear bells, them a see Undertaker. It's just the way you move your body, baby.
Radio is the most personal, pervasive, and intimate of all media, and it's mobile, with the ability to follow its audience throughout the day. And as a business person trying to reach the right customer, you can enjoy the advantages that advertising on radio can offer. Call the Advertising Solutions Department at ZIZ to learn more about how radio can help your business. Call us at 465-2621. Radio, it sounds good for business.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Tuned in to ZIZ today, Wednesday, 23rd September 2020. It's nice to be with you one more time. Yesterday, of course, we had to give way, as per usual, to the opening of the formal opening, that is, the official opening, they say, of the West Side bus terminal on the Bay Road. West Line bus terminal on the Bay Road. In fact, I was there myself as part of the witnessing audience. So we're back with you today, and we're happy to do so. We trust, of course, that you've had successful, progressive, useful past day or two, and that most things, if not all, are certainly going in your direction the way you would like it, giving thanks and praise to God for his mercies and love as per usual. I am just coming from visiting Zach's International Museum at Buckley's. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I want to recommend it to all of you. It is a place rich in history, just like the National Museum, but perhaps with a special kind of touch. Zach has been indomitable in his dedication to preserving things of historic, cultural, and educational nature. The kinds of items he has, the variety of artifacts, the vast array of literature of all genres. I mean, the photo spread that he offers, it is really amazing. And I can spend all day just imbibing and ingesting and regurgitating and doing it again. All information that is available at Zach's International Museum. And of course, this has nothing to do with politics, and nothing to do with religion. It has to do with preserving, conserving, and exhibiting aspects of our current, recent, and distant history. It's really an awesome experience, and there is so much to take in. I recommend it for students, primary school level, accompanied by their teachers and our parents, high school, CFBC, all post-secondary institutions, and of course those who are studying at universities and colleges. Lots of information. You can get all your information for your research done there. Whether you're dealing with matters relating to science, business, engineering, agriculture, law enforcement, you name it, it's there. Plus, like I said, there's a very wide and impressive photo spread. And so I would recommend that you take a visit and, of course, walk with a small, if not large, contribution, preferably monetary, to the need. And if you have good books, you have an excess number of good books, you have superfluous items which are still in good condition and are useful, you can donate them to Zach's International Museum. I think that Zach has been rewarded or awarded already, but people like Zach should perhaps be given a bit more recognition for what he has done and is doing. Of course, he does not do it correctly or perfectly all the time. There are times when, you know, some of what he does leaves something to be desired, but given his frailties and his limitations in terms of resources of all kinds, I think he has done and is doing a good job. I recommend a visit to that place. I definitely plan to return. Of course, I used to be visiting him regularly when he was on Central Street. This is my first visit to his new location. Although he has been there for a while, of course, I spent a number of years abroad, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to returning to complete the visit, if such could be said, because it's the location itself is set in the midst of a historical environment, where the Buckley's riot took place back in 1935 on an old sugar estate. The windmill is still there. Remnants of the windmill is still there, and we can also see parts of ruins of the old superstructure, including the buildings that housed the managers and the bosses. So it's worth a visit. That is my recommendation, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, today we have an open line, so you can call in and talk about that, as well as any other matter you have on your mind. 465-2555, call us when you're ready. But I just wanted to put a plug in there for Zach and what he's doing, and for persons of all ages, really, from 5 up to 95, and perhaps up to 105, you are guaranteed to learn something and be impressed. There must be something new that you learn right there at the museum. Let's take this caller. Hello, caller.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
I would like to know if the supermarket man buy all the land and Buckley's, which you just talk about.
I am not...
We want to know what's going on there, because the man just fencing all the land. And if which fencing is there, all the action takes place.
Right, I know
there was
there was some issue with persons trying
to... These want to know what's going on there.
Right.
So check it out first.
Okay, but I believe the residents of Buckley's themselves should really form a delegation, if necessary, 1 or 2 or more, and speak to their representatives for starters, and the 2 relevant individuals. I can do something, I can make some inquiries from this vantage point, but I think really to get answers, a delegation from the community needs to engage the representative for the area, and or whichever other bodies are involved, because I know that Zach himself is having issues with some people trying to block him in or block him out, as the case may be. So that's a good concern, and we are not happy that certain things happen with our lands and we are kept in the dark. I believe people should know, especially those who are affected primarily and directly. People should know. Let's take another caller.
Good morning, Dr. Blake.
Good morning, sir.
This is Mr. Buckley's.
Okay, then.
Okay, I born and raised on Buckley's.
Is that
they had a special breed of cattle called Lamos.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know about that.
I know.
What the guy called here and say, I heard it since I moved physically from Buckley's. And I went up there by Zach. And Zach showed me exactly where the supermarket people send a backhoe to level off that right and back and over Zach's step. The house there where Zach is used to be the yard, our local house.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that Zach don't have up there in the museum is the crocus bag that me culture used to sleep on the floor in.
You sure he doesn't have that?
I'm not hearing mine because I had mine saving to give him, but then the hurricane destroy it.
Okay.
But everything else Zach has in that museum, everything.
Yeah, so things like crocus, which young people don't know about, and the flower bag, which they don't know about either. My own children don't know about these things.
No.
I mean, they're young people, but...
Go ahead, talk.
No, I'm just saying that these are items that really are on display, and folks should be willing and ready to learn about. But carry on.
Exactly, because my mattress was what you call the blue label sugar bag.
Mm-hmm.
And my best uniform clothes to wear school was made from talisman flower from St. Vincent and Indian chief flower from Canada. That was the flower bag shot and the flower bag pants. I had a peer and said that was it. I couldn't go nowhere because only flower bag I had. Zach ain't have them two things, but he got everything else. He got even the pot stick. But Granny them used to turn the car with and shove it up in the shingle under the house.
Right.
And to the side of the house. So you're right, it's a nice place to for people to go visit.
Definitely.
But come back to this land business. Look, they only ain't reach my mother yard in Buckley's because the road there was pitch. So I don't have to buy the road. But it's a burning shame to who sell them people there that load of land. It's a shame and downright disgrace to the ancestors who went through the war, the strike, which end up in a riot on the road, just for the more money for the labor that they work, and then he come and take up the land and just sell it and give them so. To hell with Buckley's people and who are they going to live. That the respect they got for black people. When they come talking foolishness, that's for another topic, Mr. Blake.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give somebody else a chance to come in and talk.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you.
But I believe in matters like that, the state has a duty. Of course, they have the authority to intervene. I believe in matters like that, the state has the duty, the right, the authority, the expectation that it would intervene. I mean, we're talking about our patrimony. Honorable Dwyer likes to talk a lot about our patrimony, preserving our patrimony. And so I don't believe we should just allow these things to take place just like that. And it's a pity that criticians, we are the way we are, where we just sit back and allow these things to happen, as it were, without actively, physically showing our displeasure. Not in any violent way, not in any way. Certainly, I'm totally, you heard me say that, against any burning down and destroying and looting and so on. But I believe that, there are times when peaceful protests achieve the same results as wanton destruction. I believe that there are times when suasion and moral suasion and persuasion works just as well as coercion. So we really should not be subject to these kinds of behaviors in the year 2020. And so sometimes we have to ask ourselves, are we truly independent? Can we say we are a great country if these things will happen? Let's take this caller. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Blake. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You know where that come from? Because no one looking for no one.
Okay.
You hear? Because that shouldn't have reached so far. I really saw the man was expanding, but I couldn't believe he could have reached way up on there. This place they can't to Mr. Culture just the way. Same as there's a shed, there's somebody built something on the side. If that never they are, that would have gone.
Yeah, but it seems to me that if...
Right, and it's not right, Mr. Timothy. Going to say this, he should have stopped it because why in England? But I say when the Queen, when the people in government say, I want this piece of land, and they get it, you got to move immediately. They give you time to get somewhere else to go. And I don't know why we can't get this happen, so everybody just come doing as well. Like, who looking for who? One girl live in the state now, one friend of mine live in the state. She tell me Buckley's that used to look so nice.
Yeah.
I'm from the country, I know much about the Buckley's much. And she told me a nice evergreen tree used to be there in the middle, and it was, so sweet. And after, so these other people take it over, they just spoil the beauty of the place. I was saying why they couldn't make a roundabout and put the monument in the middle of it and, make it look uniform for you. Instead of one, they said, carry it up here. And it look like nobody might carry it up here by the roundabout because nobody really making no effort to do nothing yet. But I don't know who looking for these people. What I say, I don't watch a lot of alleys too. You gave them a spot, they come right over, taking up an alley side road. The other night I coming from Best Boy. And I watching a place that just built in Buckley's too. I said, look at that, anything coming up out, they gonna knock me down, All because when the man bring out he fence, Mr. Brutcher never go there and tell him, no, mister, they need a sidewalk for people to walk. So when you're coming down there now, if you ain't look out good, there's a car right on your heel, a bus right on your heel. I don't know really going on in this place. You hear? Nobody looking for nobody. That's all I could say. You have a good day.
Thank you. Okay, let's take another caller. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Blake,
Talk to me.
that situation with Zach and the guy with the supermarket, quite honestly, this is a...
Yeah, you need to turn on your radio, sir.
Sorry. This is a long ongoing problem here. Since last year, this program, this being said over and over. So it is telling me there is a problem. So why people are calling you to get you involved? I suggest do not get involved. Shouldn't be even asking a question to no authorities. This is not your cup of tea. Mr. Zach is better whoever have a problem with the guy. It's being said over and over, so they don't know which authority to go to. Let them go to the authorities, let them go to the representative. People just like to call in and get involved in a lot of things and other radio hosts. I don't believe in that now. They know what to do. The people of Buckley can get together and go and find out who is the right authorities. Because this been going on and on, This is not the first time I heard this. It's about the 8 or 9 times I heard this concern over radio. So now why they now trying to get you involved? It's not right either.
Okay.
And you said the right thing. They should probably, get together and try to go to the different authorities and find out. If the guy is doing anything illegal, I don't see it should be easy. That's ABC. Just go to the proper authorities, whether the housing or whatever,
Right.
and then let it rectify it. I'll go to your representative and let it rectify it. I'll go to a lawyer for that matter and let it rectify it. It's calling in almost over a year now. And nobody seems to get the problem solved. How are you going to get the problem solved? That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Very good advice.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Much appreciated. All right, I like that. People are looking out for my welfare. Isn't that nice? Good morning, caller.
Hello.
Hello, sister.
Good morning. Mr. Blake,
Yes, ma'am.
you know what I can understand with some people? They know the right of things, but they just glad for a talk show to come in and talk. The gentleman there is right to do what he's saying.
Okay.
But then the one before him, she fully well know the problem over there is before the unity team went in. And after they went in, the people, listen, it have a lady born and reared over there, just like culture. And the woman coming on the radio for years before the unity team and talking about these people coming measuring up and taking up the land and I and all had called in and speak about it. You understand me?
Yes.
So I don't know why they just gentleman is right to do what he's saying. Why they just coming now and talking like it just happened. It ain't just happened. The lady used to be there, they're doing the business. They had another lady born and we over there. She used to do she little cooking there. People go there buy the food and so. I mean, please, they're not better. They need to do better. Don't try to come on the radio and making like it just happened on the unity. Yes. Unity about it and they went to it. They cannot do nothing about it. It's just like they try them buy out the land and they can't do nothing about it. And we got sense and we should know better. And know what to come on and say and do. Rather than going on and coming on and doing them false things here.
Okay.
They know better. Mr. Blake, as the gentleman tell you, not get yourself involved in nothing because we know what's going down.
Right.
We know about the land. We know about the land selling. Which is this land now wasn't supposed to sell to them people here. The land is Buckley's people land. And Buckley's people should have get the land. Them they should have get the first preference. Them who born and grandchildren, great-grandchildren and great-grandchildren over there. So when the lady coming on and talking, she know better. So she knows she should say better, she could do better. Okay, then thank you for your time.
Thank you. And I really did not see the comments as an attack on Unity or Labour or PAM or any government per se. I really did not interpret it that way. I thought the folks were just expressing their views on something that still obtains, even though it's been around for a long time. And perhaps we need to speak about things forever until they get done, even though they might be around for a long time. But thank you very much, ma'am, for your opinion. It's well respected. Let's take this other caller. Hello? Hello?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Blake.
Talk to me.
I agree with my schoolmate and the gentleman that called. Right? There are plenty of things need to be looked into and come on the radio and speak about it. When last do you go on Fortlands, where they have the hotel down here? It is like a sore eye, Mr. Blake. I go down about 3 times, and I cannot believe what time hotel comes now. You see, we've had the Olympic Club.
Yeah, I used to go there for
like
activities.
a sore eye.
And I saw.
And the whole part of it, Fortland is like a sore eye. Nobody is looking into these things and coming on the radio and speaking about this. You're only talking about up by Zach Elizabeth, but there have a lot of people coming on and saying most and many things. What happened to the MIS? When are they going to build up the MIS hall, where we committed when people used to go in there and have lectures? The minister said that he will make sure that the MIS put back. You agree with him, and you say you will be on the team or whatever committee to see that the MIS goes back.
It's restored, yes.
I think it's like a sore eye down to wherever you are at this very moment, because there's a lot of bushes and grass and trees need to cut down, and they have the environment, and they're not sending them around to make sure these things happen. When last you come with that Mr. Southwell was living, suppose you see the amount of bushes and trees and in the street need cleaning up, and nobody is doing nothing. What happened to the health minister? She's supposed to take a walk in that community and see the state of it. The drain is full of with clogs of things, debris. The whole of Barcelona cleaning completely. Let us stop talking about up the Buckley. Let the committee or whatever deal with that situation. There are plenty of things in Bastille wanted to look. Take a drive down by the Social Security and you see the street. It's going in. It's going in. It needs to repair. Bastille Road needs to repair, and people should come in and speak about these things. Forget about up by Zach.
No, we're not going to forget about up by Zach.
We're going to forget about it so long.
We're going to include Zach, the area up by Zach. But
if we're going to open the border and these things is not put it in place to make sure that when the guests come and see the beauty of St. Kitts, what are we going to tell them?
All right.
I agree in what you are saying and doing, but there are plenty of things needed to look into. The ministers of government need to come out of office, walk around and see all of the debris and hazard what's taking place in St. Kitts.
Very well.
So Blake, you're doing a wonderful job. And I'd like to make sure the MIS goes back to the location where it was in Market Street.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, I just want to advise the public. I have proposed to the Honourable Minister, representative for Central Bastille, that we establish a Bastille Improvement Council. I'm still waiting for the opportunity to further extend that, further crystallize that idea. But definitely, I think that would go a long way in helping to restore Bastille to the glory that it ought to be exuding. Hello, caller.
Good morning, Brother Blake.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Brother Blake, the situation of Buckley's estate, right? I believe is a situation that this government have nothing to do with unless they want to take back the land from the people them who buy the land and give the ordinary man and woman and Buckley's the land them. Only that this government could do. Because the land are done sold. But look at it now. Look these people who do the movies. Look, them same people. Some of them sell out their land to the people, to the movies. So I do not see the problem. And then cross there talk Mr. Clark shop be by Mr. Miss Brown there. With the lady talk about bringing out road when Mr. Batcher and I see that. That was a thing there long time. That was a historical, them thing was historical, it was the early time. I do not see, can't to the gentleman, I do not see these things that people bring into you. You could put any problem, anything to them. You understand? People just want to point things there, and they just want to point things to criticize this government. Can't to my good friend, down Lime Key. She right. People just want to find things to criticize this government. They just come in and about this, that, and that, and then they don't know what's going on. Then they think it, they don't know what's going on, and think it for years. But I believe you have a wonderful day. God bless.
Very well, sir. Do we have another caller? Let's take him or her, because I want to remind folks that people on this show have a right to express themselves, whether we agree with them or not. Hello.
Yeah, Brother Blake.
Yes, sir.
We're not going to stray. Sorry, we're not going to stray from the topic of Zach Museum.
Right, this is what I wanted to
because
refocus.
It is right. If we do not know our history, we would not know our future. So we have to talk about the Zach Museum. It is a lot of things unknown to people that they should go there and visit the museum. Then they would see how it was in those days compared to now. And so they will learn to appreciate what we have. And how to, when we get something, before we get it, appreciate the intention that we will get this. But the land business, they just take everything, hauling everything, and to hell with them over there. In the first place, Buckley's, no part of Buckley's estate was supposed to be sold to nobody. None, except who live Buckley's and who born and raised there. He sell you for residential purpose. They don't get the place over there where Mr. Evelyn was. When the black factory finished with India, Mr. Manny Gonzalez, the businessman, he bought a little piece over there. And then who come behind now? Them from down Church Street. They buy the whole place. And the man who was in charge of the country, he just shut the eye and sell. That is our patrimony. He sell. I tell you, if the road never done pave, my mother would not have got no fence in she had. That is the respect you got for people. Look, me near Ballo. Every night me and Ballo used to sit on the bushy fence and we there talking about look what happened. When car come in Ballo, got to pull in she put in she gate. Eh? Disrespect to the people in Buckley's. So that is what we are talking about. But people, go and visit Zach Museum. There are a lot of things to be seen and lots of knowledge to get.
Definitely. Okay.
Thank you. Don't come out for that topic.
Thank you very much. We'll take a break now, station break, and we'll be back with you right after.
St. Kitts and Nevis, hear this. Europa Hardware, the official steel dealer for garden power tools, announces its big Europa 6th anniversary sale. Take advantage of 15% discount off on weed eaters with a 1 pound trimmer line and a 1 liter engine oil. Chainsaws, blowers, hedge trimmers. In fact, all steel machinery store-wide is 15% off. Visit us on Keon Street in the Old Singer Building or call us at 465-4555 for Europa. Don't miss it. Europa's 6th anniversary sale, the 1st and 2nd of October. Europa Hardware, thanks to St. Kitts and Nevis for their continued support.
The summer is on, and now is the time to get an AC unit installed in your office or home. Look no further than top-class AC and refrigeration services. St. Kitts' #1 outlet for air conditioning installation and refrigeration spare parts sales. And if you come today, you get a 10% discount on the purchase of portable AC units. Top Glass also offers AC mold removal and remediation and auto AC repairs and servicing. Inquire today, 660-9889, 663-5314, or email topclassacworks@gmail.com. You can also visit the store at the corner of Keon Street and Shaw Avenue, Bastyr. Top Class AC and Refrigeration Services.
Poinciana Restaurant on the Frigate Bay Road opens daily at 11 a.m. to serve you lunch and dinner. Whether you desire to dine in or take out, Poinciana Restaurant offers both to serve you better. Call Poinciana Restaurant at 465-5216 for your lunch or dinner takeout and reservations.
Why you look so unhappy? And why your car light so yellow and your paint so dull?
Boy, Lucas, to be honest, right? Me car in a bad state, you know, and I realize but I ain't even know where to go. I will want me car look and feel brand new again. Give me that good up feeling, you know what I mean?
Well, look no further, me boy. Double the services auto detailing could get your lights bright as ever and buff your car like brand new. And when I say brand new, I mean brand new. The man hard, I tell you. You just got to wear shades after he finished with your vehicle because it is so bright.
Well. That sounds excellent, Jed. Give me the number location, you see? Let me book an appointment.
Double the Services is located at Limefield Project in the village, Bastia, St. Kitts. You can contact them at 763-9362. You can also locate them on Facebook, Google, and Instagram. Double D Services, perfection in the details.
Okay, yes, we're back with you. All right, and I want to thank all those persons who called in to voice their various and varied opinions. And remember, all of us, if you're going to claim to be a great people, a great nation, we have to learn to respect other people's opinions, whether we like them or not. Otherwise, our talk about being great and so on is shallow and empty. We have to start at home, learn to love and respect each other, even if we don't agree, because remember, I don't think there's any issue in this world on which everybody will ever agree. I mean, we don't even agree what we all should eat, how we should eat, where we should eat, when we should eat. We don't agree on what we should wear, or where we should wear it and when. We don't agree on who should rule, the criteria for rulership. We don't agree on which church to attend, and we don't agree on anything. But we can't be destroying each other because of that, okay? And we see what happens in other countries around the world where just because you belong to a different race, or you have a different skin color, or you have a different religion, a different religious belief, you're a target for enmity, you're a target for death and destruction. You're an infidel. You're marked for death. We don't want that here, right? Just because you're different in one way or another, either in action or in look or in belief. So we don't want that here. We want to really begin to respect each other, tolerate each other, and teach that to our students, teach that to our children, teach that to our youngsters. Right? I want to really use this forum to plead with my fellow Kittitians that no matter how strongly we feel about a particular matter, doesn't mean that others will agree with us. All right? And let us understand that. And let us be willing to discuss and even dispute, but not to hate, and then we begin to vituperate and curse and even make up things, nasty things about other people because we don't agree with what they say. You know, it reminds me of an argument, two fellas discussing whether we were created or whether we are here as a result of evolution. And one fellow telling the other one, "Man, no wonder you believe in evolution. You look like an ape." Right? I mean, no wonder you believe in evolution. You look like an ape. What is that? What does it have to do with the argument or the discussion as to whether we are here by a creation or evolution? So we don't want to degenerate, to contaminate, to adulterate the topic by engaging in those kinds of arguments and statements. Right, so I definitely support those persons who encourage others to want to learn as much as possible, and to encourage our youngsters in particular to learn as much as possible about current, recent, and distant history. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Blake.
Yes, sir.
You hearing me?
I am hearing you. I can't say loud and clear, okay, but I am hearing you.
Mr. Blake, I beg to disagree that any and everything would be right. There is right and wrong. And what is right, and what is wrong is wrong. That is why you have schools to teach the difference between right and wrong.
Okay.
And therefore, we cannot give that kind of message to our youth. Otherwise, they'll be mixed up. We have to give them the right education and let them know when they are out of order and when they are on the right track.
Yeah, well, we are not talking about rules and regulations, you know. Which,
beg your pardon?
We are not talking about rules and regulations or customary habits and traditions which we now regard as sacred and sacrosanct and which should not really be touched. We are talking about expressing an idea which really does not hurt or harm anybody in any way, physically, mentally, to express that idea. That is what I'm talking about with respect to accepting people's opinions.
Well,
I'm not saying that anything and everything is right. I could never say
other people's opinion, meaning that the person must be on the right track. They cannot be off track and want you to be on their side. They must be on the right track because right is right and wrong is wrong. As a matter of fact, if it is all right for anyone to say anything that they feel like saying, and what about the other aspect of life where some people feel it is right for them to do whatever they want? But to do whatever you want is not the way to go. That is why there are rules and there are laws. So we have to get hold of the truth and ensure that the truth will be told and is told all of the time. And anything that is degrading, anything that is out of order should be condemned. That is my view. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for expressing your view. And I respect that view. But I like to say here that people have a right to be wrong, but nobody has a right to do wrong. In other words, you have a right to be wrong in the expression of your idea. You have a right to be wrong in terms of what you think and what you believe. You have a right to be wrong in saying that whatever or whatever you think or believe a thing to be or ought to be, but you don't have any right to do wrong, perhaps in pursuit of exercising that idea or that belief. That's what we're talking about. But certainly, I agree with the last caller that there are certain universal rules and principles that are immutable. In other words, there is no place on earth where to be dishonest or to cheat or to lie is correct. There is no place on earth where to harm or hurt others is correct. So even if one expresses the idea that, hey, I believe it is right to throw things in my neighbor's yard, throw a dead cat in my neighbor's yard. Now that is his belief. Now to go and act on that belief is a totally different thing. The question is, does the person have a right to say that? I believe he has a right to say that. But does he have a right to do that? Not in your wildest dreams. So my position here is that people have a right to say things once they don't enter the land of slander. And if you're writing, you don't enter the land of libel, but you have a right to write and to say what you think. Of course, you're circumscribed, you're prescribed by certain laws and regulations that dictate our behavior. Thank God Almighty, because freedom is not absolute anywhere. So when we're saying that I think people have a right to express themselves, it is within limits, of course. I mean, there were times when the planters, the owners of the slave plantation believed that we were animals, we were less than chattel, and we were to be treated as such. We were brutalized in the most atrocious ways because they had the idea, the belief, that we were not just second class, we were non-class persons, beings, and they acted on that belief. Now, if they just harbored those beliefs but never acted on them, everything would be airy, in my view. But since a man is what he thinks and what he believes, very often he acts on those beliefs. But I'm suggesting that whereas we have a right to be wrong, we don't have any right to do wrong. But I respect people's opinions, provided they're not entering, like I said, they're not trespassing in the land of slander, and they're not defaming or denigrating any individual. Let's take this other caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, this thing about slavery. Who is a slave? A slave is a person who depends on his master for sustenance and upkeep.
Or who depends on another one, not necessarily his master, who depends on another.
Who depends on another.
Right.
For sustenance and upkeep.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know that the thing slavery, or the condition of slavery, permeated the first era of our civilization for nearly 5,000 years?
Mm-hmm.
And that is why it has been moved into the second era. And when God said to us to multiply and replenish the earth, the people from the first era came into the second era with that slavery mentality. And that is why it came to our country. Money was a scarcity. So to talk about paying wages, when it did start, wages were very, very low. And some people preferred the previous situation of giving them food, drink, and whatever else, rather than paying them these low wages. Those are the conditions that the world was in. And today, they still have slavery being practiced around the world in some countries.
Oh, definitely.
So that, why are we making all this big talk when in truth and in fact, that is not the important aspect to be concentrating on. What we should be concentrating on is how we can build our country economically, spiritually, and in the best interest of the Lord, our Savior, Jesus Christ. Thank you very much for listening to me again.
Of course. And again, I agree with the caller that if we were to really want to experience true growth, lasting growth and progress and development and all of that, the best thing to do would be to abide by the laws and principles and teachings of Jesus the Christ. Because he being perfect, he being the epitome of love and compassion and all of that, he cannot do anything wrong or incorrect. He cannot do anything that leads or lends to hurt or harm or degeneracy of any sort. So to follow him would be the best thing for individuals, countries, and the world at large to do. But we know that that's not going to happen. He himself has advised that that's not going to happen. But definitely that's the correct thing to do. And so we need to start by doing that in our individual lives. Let's take another caller.
Good morning again.
Talk to me again.
Brother Blake,
yes, sir.
You know some people just try to mislead people, say things where they don't true, just to get you tangled up and twist your mind and twist it towards the wrong things.
Yes, that's possible.
Even in politics it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You call that a con artist when somebody want to con you.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes that when people come on and sometimes try to say things, maybe they try to say things their way because they know they want to mislead and try to mislead people in the wrong way. This thing happen, this thing take place.
Okay.
You understand? Then come on because they want to try to educate you. And you know who know better will come on and condemn the person and say, no, not like that, man. Not like that, go so. This go that way and that go that way. So sometimes that we go to challenge people sometimes because can't do Brother Welch, young people out there listening, and you can't educate the young people towards the wrong things. You got to let them know the right things. You understand?
Definitely.
So that is just it, Brother Blake. You have a wonderful day. God bless again.
Yeah, let me make it clear. One person has a right to say a particular thing, to express a particular view, and another has a right to challenge that view. So I totally agree with Mr. Politics. People have a right to call in after somebody else and challenge that view. Let's take this other caller.
Yeah, Brother Blake.
Mm.
I'm going to say something, but I'm very short.
Yes.
Is because every disappointment is for a good. Now, Zach was disappointed when he was down on Central and Church Street. We had his museum.
Mm-hmm.
But because of whatever happened, they decided, well, okay, well, Jack, you got to go. So Jack had no place, and Jack applied to this government here for a place. And they sent Jack to Buckley's estate where he is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And because he went up to Buckley's estate, that has a lot of history, Jack was able to reach some of them and have them really there in store for people to see. Whereas when he was downtown, he never had so much information about Buckley's.
Okay.
Now, listen here, the difference between people. If Mr. Bradshaw was alive, whether he was in office or not, the house over Frigate Bay and the beach could not have been there.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't even think about asking Mr. Bradshaw anything, much less to construct it. And Buckley's estate would have been real Buckley's estate that Mr. Bradshaw knew it to be. And the Buckley's estate, when he came over there in 1975, I was working at the health center, and the morning when I saw Mr. Bradshaw and the gang come up in the estate yard and stand up there to declare publicly that they will claim the land for the people of the country. And let me say this here, Mr. Bradshaw was a man so serious. If he could say nobody must build a house on the sea, he said you must be able to walk around the island if you can on the beach without being blocked by anybody fence up any beach. No one has the right to fence up the beach, the sand on the beach. That was Mr. Bradshaw's policy. And a lot of things where you see went wrong, they could not even let Mr. Bradshaw hear that they're going to sell Buckley's. Carmen had a little business place there trying to make ends meet. Carmen had to pull up, stake and just open in she yard the boy she get. And that was done. All that was done before 2015. So now this administration now, they are trying to see how much of that same land they could reclaim for the purpose of Buckley's. And then the what you call it there, the thing that those guys also must put up. Inside there was the fittest place to put up the monument.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right where they have those big 40-foot trailers blocking everybody's view from downtown. That couldn't happen under Mr. Bradshaw, but like I say, everybody act different to one another. And Mr. Bradshaw would have glad for Zach to have as many historic knowledge as possible. So they couldn't do Zach that if Mr. Bradshaw was wrong. But this government is trying to justify the people of Buckley's. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Blake.
Okay. All right. I learned quite a bit myself when I listened to the callers, so I'm happy for that. Do we have another caller? Okay. Right. So, different administrations, different governments, different leaders pursue different types of policies, and they see things differently, and so they act according to their vision and their views. Whatever those are, those visions and views, when they begin to be put into action, of course, they should always, whoever the leaders are, irrespective of what philosophy or ideology the leader has, or the leaders have, they should always bear in mind the welfare of the people, the comfort of the people. That should be paramount. That should be first and foremost. It should be first and last in terms of priority. That the people of the country are not disadvantaged in any way, whether it be by denial of access to real estate, or whether it be being made uncomfortable because of certain policies. No, it should always be the welfare of the people taking precedence. Good morning, caller.
Yes, hello.
Talk to me.
You can hear me, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, I just listened to Mr. Culture. A lot of things he says make sense, but I am not too sure this problem is a government problem. I don't even know if the government should be involved. I really don't know.
Exactly.
Some people making it sound like it's government, and I don't understand, because listen here, Mr. Blake, according to my observation and inquiries, right, Mr. Zach Nisbet was located at Church Street.
Central Street. Right? Central Street.
Am I right?
Central Street.
Hello?
He was on Central Street, not Church Street.
Was it Stanford and to the back of Church Street? That wasn't where the museum was.
No, it was on
Church
Central
and the
Street, sir.
behind there.
It was on Central Street between Cottage and Church Streets.
Okay, right. Okay. Thanks for your correction.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Up to this day as we speak, nobody knows why he left or was removed from Church Street.
Yeah, some of us know. Some of us do know.
Hello?
Some of us do know why he left.
Yeah, but Mr. Jackman came on and said, why? He's the main person. He's the main person, so should come on radio and say why. Okay. What will be good is if Mr. Nisbet come on radio and say exactly and give a background as to why he left or removed from Church Street. Because it's a some now, so the public should know. If you know, you should say it and let the public get a clear picture. Instead of every minute Mr. Zach Nisbet seems like he has a problem with Mr. Kawaja. I've never heard Mr. Kawaja call in and say he has a problem with Mr. Zach Nisbet. This is why I say I don't believe it's a government issue. And Mr. Zach Nisbet should seek whatever legal advice and get this matter over with. Because it's been coming up over and over and over, and it's ridiculous. The question you should ask, another question I want to ask, the supermarket, was it illegally obtained by Mr. Kawaja? And if it is, that can be rectified by a lawyer. That could go to a lawyer and that can be rectified. The other thing is Mr. Zach, he didn't put himself there? Is he there illegally? Legal? Is it legal to be there? Or is he there legal? All this, the public don't know. We're just hearing a piece of the story every day for almost going for 2 years now. So I would like, I'm appealing to Mr. Zach Nisbet to come and say exactly how we get there, and if any government institution about it, meaning NHCR, we call it planning, because I'm not getting exactly the full picture of it. People just calling in and saying all kinds of things. And like I said, I don't believe it's a government issue. So why some people is even involved in the government? I don't think the government issue. The government put him there. If the government put him in there, I don't know. But it doesn't appear to you that the government is involved in it. You catch what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm following you. Yeah. But I started off by simply encouraging the public, you and others, everyone who's listening, to visit the museum that Zach runs and operates to learn from all that he has to offer. That is where I started.
No, you understand,
Okay.
A museum is good, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
Mr. Culture, I agree with you. A museum is a good thing to have. I mean, it's good for the country. I'm not saying, no, but what I'm saying, let's find out how we get there. Maybe it's illegally and nobody know. Maybe Mr. Kawaja, what he did is legal or illegal. I'm just saying I'm not holding the sides. I'm just saying rectify it and let the public know.
Very well, sir.
That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll take another caller if we have time, because I don't think we have time for many more. All right, that might be our last caller then. We wanted to talk about some other things, but you know, something that started off pretty innocently has kind of taken on a wider dimension, and so it took up all our time this morning. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to definitely speak to Zach some more about what was raised. I'm assuming he was listening if he had the time, and then we'll see how we can arrive at some further expatiation, some further explanation, some further conclusions as to this particular matter. Be that as it may, the fact is, Zach's Museum is a place of learning. Thank you very much for being a part of Frank and Candid today. Look forward to doing it again another time, and until then, do the right thing.
St. Kitts and Nevis, hear this. Europa Hardware, the official steel dealer for garden power tools, announces its big Europa 6th anniversary sale. Take advantage of 15% discount off on weed eaters with a 1 pound trimmer line